Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneits Astrology, your one-stop Astro channel. Once again, we are with an ascendant-wise analysis for a very good transit of this year 2020 and 2021, the Jupiter transit in the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter has already moved in the sign of Capricorn on 20th of November and has joined Saturn, forming a Neech Bhang Raj Yog. What this has in store for us, let us find out. To understand this analysis, there are two ways to do this. First, to understand the physical and overall effect, treat this as ascendant-wise analysis. And to understand the psychological effect, treat this analysis as the psychological and as per your Chandra Rashi. That means, suppose if you are a Cancer ascendant person, then watch the Cancer video as the overall and the physical effect. And if you are the Cancer ascendant but Virgo moon sign, watch the Virgo video to understand the psychological aspect. So you have two videos to watch, one according to the ascendant and the other according to the moon sign. I hope this makes you clear how to understand the transit videos, because the videos that I make are on the zodiac perspective and treating as ascendant, but it can also be watched for the moon sign. Suppose you don't know your ascendant but you know your moon sign, then you can watch the video for your moon sign, but taking that as more of a mental and psychological aspect. The same pointers will hold true, but more on the psychological level. So let's start with this analysis for ascendant by ascendant. But before that, do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for Astro Bites. The link are in the description box below. Also, if you want to take my consultation, you can drop me an email. The email ID is also in the description box below. So let's continue the ascendant-wise analysis. Ascendant number 4, Cancer ascendant. Cancer ascendant will notice Jupiter and Saturn conjunction in the 7th house. Something is unique about this Jupiter and Saturn placement. Jupiter is your 6th lord and Saturn is your 8th lord. When 6th lord and 8th lord, that means Sagittarius and Aquarius lord, goes and combines in the 7th house, then 7th house energies becomes very turbulent. It will become transformative. When Jupiter goes into Neech Bhanga in the 7th house, your marriage will become a lesson, a learning, and that means you should listen to the hidden voices that comes through 7th house. Why marriage? Because marriage is the primary attribute of that house. But if I take the basic principle of astrology, that means 7th from any house is kind of opposite to that house. So if 1st house is you, 7th house is not you. Something that is separated from you. Something that is separated from your identity. That is why 7th house is marriage, because somebody gets associated with you who is not you. Somebody becomes your life, somebody becomes the center of your life, and you have to quit a part of you to be a part of them. That's how 7th house comes into play. And that is why the balance is Libra. And the balance cannot happen with one scale. It has to have two plates to balance. It can't be just one plate to create a balance. That's not even a balance. And that is the learning. And the definition of whatever I have said is going to be explained to you over this Jupiter transit. Few marriages will take a hit, which is by far gone into an extent that it cannot be recovered. Justice will be served in that area. Few marriages will be on the verge of reconciliation, because Saturn will delay any kind of break of marriage, and Saturn won't want that you should break away, because it's a karma. It's a karma phal, and that has to be executed in the way Saturn wants to execute, and that means slow and steady growth. But when Jupiter and Saturn goes in the 7th house for Cancer ascendant, you have to understand that the transformation through marriage will be helpful for you, not only in your career but also as an overall expansion of life. So this is the time when things can become difficult because things will not go the way you have planned. So this is the time for critical and analytical thinking. This is the time when you live your life in a kartavya bodh. That means the sense of duty. 7th house also means business, so you can start some new business. If your business is going down, the Neech Bhang Raju can suddenly give you the necessary push. Career transformation can also happen. Remember, 7th house is also 10th from 10th. It is the Bhavat Bhabam of the 10th house. So definitely the long pending promotion, the long pending change of career can happen through this Jupiter Neech Bhanga. The aspect directly falls on the ascendant. Anyone who is born with 0 to 6 or 10 degrees of the Cancer zodiac sign, that means the first 10 degrees of the Cancer zodiac sign will be mostly affected by this, because initially the proper conjunction of Jupiter is still 5 to 7 degrees of movement. Then Jupiter is actually moving way faster than the Saturn's movement. So Jupiter will fly by in front of Saturn. So the first 10 degrees of the Cancer zodiac sign is the one that is the most affected by this. But overall, this means somebody from the front, somebody who is not you, will give you the feedback about you. So you may hear a lot of things about you. So instead of replying or fighting it back, you should instantly analyze. Because this is all about learning. Jupiter debilitation is all about learning the subject, understanding the karma. The teaching is over. It is all about execution. You execute and you learn. You execute and you learn. If first house is you, 7th house is the field work. Now the 6th, which is the dispute and the prarabdha, and 8th, which is called as effort of prarabdha, the chronic diseases, the uncertainty, the ups and downs, the surprises, are all in the 7th house. That means suddenly you will meet your prarabdha. That means if your marriage has been pending for a very long period of time, this is the time when you can meet somebody. Sudden marriage is on the cards, an unexpected one. Jupiter's 5th aspect will be on the 11th house. That means your source of income will improve. You will definitely do, with the help of your partner, with the help of a person, with the help of a friend. Somebody will come in your rescue. Somebody will be there for you. That will improve your source of income. That will be there to fulfill your expectation. That is why you should keep on focusing on doing the karma rather than focusing on the results of the karma. And Jupiter's 9th aspect falls on the 3rd house, again showing that your efforts has to be dharmic in nature, spiritual in nature. You should undergo some puja. You should do some puja for Shani, like Om Sham Shaneshwaraya Namah. This mantra you with your spouse should chant in prayer to the Lord Saturn, so that justice has to be served. Justice serves its destiny on you. This pattern of life may be a bit frustrating, especially if you are Cancerian moon and Ashlesha moon, because usually at that point of time your nature is to flow like a river and you encounter a mountain right in front of you. That's what Jupiter Saturn, it's like an obstruction. You hit a wall, but when you hit a wall, that wall may be protecting you. That can be a defensive wall. That is the difference you have to understand, and the only way you can understand is by looking at a bigger picture. So for you, the best thing that you can do in this case is to look at a bigger picture. Rather than looking at what is happening right now, you have to understand why this is happening, what is the long-term consequence of this, what is the long-term effect. If somebody is saying something to you, why are they saying in that way? And after a careful evaluation of the subject, you can take your step, you can take your response, you can answer to them, you can take any step that you think that is good for you and beneficial for others also. This is also the time when you do seva, service to mankind, do a lot of charity, help people in need, teach people in need, serve whoever needs to be served. If any area of your life lacks your presence, lacks your duty, but demands it. You have to be present there. Because if you are not present there, the equilibrium will get disturbed. And this is the time when the equilibrium is achieved at any cost. The Kama Trikona 3, 7 and 11 are now under the aspect of debilitated Jupiter, but a Neech Bhanga Jupiter. So overall, this is going to be a very positive time for fulfillment of desire. You know, a long pending desire, something that was not getting fulfilled, and you were fed up of life, and now is the time that it gets fulfilled. So it's a very, very surprisingly optimistic time for you. The desire fulfillment will happen with one clause, which I will repeat again, that you have to do the work with kartavya bodh. You have to execute life with a sense of duty and responsibility. Financially, it is a good time. For the first 6 months, you may feel that you are doing and you are not getting the results. Just wait. Give it enough time to execute. Let Jupiter go into the 8th house, because on April, Jupiter is moving out of the Capricorn, going into the sign of Aquarius, and then coming back to Capricorn. So, you know, Jupiter will bring a bag of surprise, a positive one for you. Health perspective, you have to be lot more careful. Stress can be killer. 6th and 8th lord are combined in the 7th house. So you should be careful while venturing out. Just being careful is more than enough. It's your horoscope who will decide what will exactly happen. But from a transit perspective, because the 6th and the 8th lord are combined and they aspect your ascendant, you have to be careful about your health. If you have any problem, if you have a chronic disease that is flaring up, you should immediately consult a doctor. You should take help, and that's what you should do. If you are facing a psychological problem, if suddenly you feel depressed, if suddenly you feel trapped, you may have to talk to somebody. Discuss the issue. Because it's the 7th house from Moon that will see the Rahu and Jupiter. This is for people who have Cancerian Moon. Then you have to vent it out. Somebody will give you the practical advice. And you have to understand what practical advice is. Maybe you want him to say the kind of words that you want to hear. But he will say the kind of words that you need to hear. That's the difference this transit will bring if you have a Cancer Moon. So overall, this transit is, I will say, a life-changing transit, not only for the Ascendant, but also for the Moon sign. This is the 7th house transit. That means things are opposite but complementary. There is always a tattvic match. That is why it's like a marriage with the scenario. It's like a marriage with the circumstance. It's like a marriage with the karma. How beautifully you adjust to the scenario and handle the balance of life will define the transit for you. But overall, this is going to be a well-balanced, well-executed, well-articulated and highly optimistic and positive transit for you. So guys, that was a quick take on the Ascendant-wise analysis. I hope you liked this video, and if you like, do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. This is your host Puneet. Let's meet in the next video. Till then, namaste.